Can Mercedes turn their rocky start into a roaring comeback? Despite a disappointing start to the 2024 season with their new car design, reminiscent of their struggles in 2012, the Silver Arrows seem to have a secret weapon up their sleeve. But will it be enough to secure victory? Amidst the setbacks, they possess a key strength that could turn the tide in most races. They've gotten a lot better at speed compared to last year. Back then, McLaren found it hard to overtake them, even with fresh tires and the DRS open wide. But this isn't what Mercedes wanted. Hamilton ended up 9th because he couldn't keep up with Norris in the first part of the race in Jeddah. He lost about 0.6 of a second in just a few quick corners. The car becomes unstable at this part of the track. It's crucial to have a stable and fast car in these corners because this is where most of the good results come from. Any team can make a car fast on the straight parts of the track, but it's tough to keep it stable in the fast corners where you're going over 200 km/h. Mercedes, including their track engineer Andrew Shovlin, has talked a lot about this. Andrew Shovlin talked about fixing the car's downforce problem. He said the team wants to balance performance and stability, aiming to find the perfect spot where they can get the most out of the car. Shovlin mentioned in Jeddah that we were really fast on the straights, maybe even the fastest. We used a light wing setup, which made us quick on the straights but slower in sectors 2 and 3. So we try to make up for time in sector 1. That sector is full of fast corners. Ideally, we want to keep it that way and find a different way to improve sector 1 without adding more downforce and slowing down on the straights. Yes, Mercedes was really quick on the straights. This graph shows they were only beaten by the H car in this part. It proves that while top speed matters, it's not the only thing you should focus on when building a car. It will really benefit Mercedes on circuits with lots of fast corners like Austria, Spa, Monza, and Las Vegas. Top speed has been crucial in these races, especially against Red Bull and Ferrari into 2023. But if your car isn't stable in those fast corners, you'll lose a lot of time. Trying to fix that stability problem puts extra pressure on the car's performance. Mercedes will be really eager to see how their experiments play out in Melbourne. They're hoping their delayed upgrade package in IMA proves them right about the stability they're building. According to Wolff, the car does have this quality. They just don't want to rush with upgrades and end up going in the wrong direction again during this regulation period. If they wait until IMA and try these experiments in Melbourne, the team will be slowly but surely moving towards building competitive cars for 2025 too. Even though the regulations and cars will be similar, they still need to address the deficit in high-speed corners. The only problem Mercedes faces with the W5 is that while they'll count on their top speed in some parts of the next Grand Prix, they're not bringing any upgrades. Instead, they'll be running many experiments on the car, showing they're still figuring out how the W5 behaves. This isn't necessarily bad news because the concept and design are still pretty new, so fans shouldn't worry too much. But what might concern them is that some old problems with the car, like bouncing and instability, have come back and haven't been fixed with this new W15 approach. The team has made fixing this issue a top priority. After Hamilton's disappointing comment, it seems Mercedes might have failed to build a good car for the 3rd year in a row. This might be something he already expected or knew before moving to Ferrari. When discussing the car's different behavior in qualifying and the main race, Shovlin mentioned a few reasons for the lack of performance in high-speed corners. One was that the balance wasn't good in those fast corners, as where the driver needs a lot of confidence. If they put too much pressure on the tires, it can really unsettle the drivers. This was a problem in both qualifying and the race. In qualifying, we also had issues with bouncing, but that wasn't as much of an issue during the race. With more fuel in the car and slightly slower speeds, things calmed down and it wasn't such a big problem. The main issue is that we don't have enough grip. These are fundamental problems with the W5, and being the second fastest car in terms of top speed means very little. If you can't use most of that speed and stability in the corners, it's a problem. Every F1 team wants their car to be fast in the corners. That's why they spend so much money in high-tech factories. But Mercedes hasn't achieved this goal this year. And to make things worse, they probably won't be able to rely on Hamilton's help and advice to get better in this area. When discussing this more, Hamilton stressed the importance of improving now. If they don't, they'll not only lose to Ferrari and McLaren, but also to Aston Martin. The customer team who wants to catch up to Red Bull has a lot of upgrades planned for the AMR24. Hamilton also said, "We really need to make some major changes. We haven't made enough big changes yet, so we definitely have some performance to add. In Bahrain, we had some bouncing, but it wasn't as bad as here in Jeddah. If you're bouncing at 160 or 170 miles per hour and trying to correct it each time, it's not going to work. Other drivers are going full speed through corners like 6, 7, and 8, and their balance is stable. That's what we're aiming for. We have to fix it. It's been 3 years in a row, and we need to get on top of it." Obviously, it's not like Hamilton will be giving his all to fix this, because next year, he'll be driving for Ferrari and might not care much about the issues Mercedes has now. However, he's only earned 8 points in the first 2 races of the season, and it looks like there will be many issues for the W5 in Melbourne too. On the bright side, the 7-time world champion has also said that Russell is feeling a lot better and more comfortable with the car. Even though his younger teammate realized there are lots of things that need fixing to be competitive again, do you think Mercedes has what it takes to turn things around in 2024? More importantly, do you think they'll have to wait until 2026 to compete for race wins and championships? Wolff believes that Mercedes can improve its car by making sure the mechanical parts work well with its aerodynamics. "I think the car is really complex for us, especially when it comes to balancing the aerodynamics and mechanics," he said. "These 2 aspects need to match up, and we've been following a certain path for the past few years. We kept going around in circles, and we reached a point where we said, okay, we need to try something different here." The problems with the W15 suggest that Mercedes might spend a 3rd year trying to fix issues following troubles with the new ground effect cars in the past 2 seasons. But Wolff believes the team is in a better position now, and he's confident that they will soon figure out what went wrong. "It's been 2 years that there's something we need to figure out, and that's the key to solving our problems," he said. "We just need to work on it." Wolff says that the team hasn't been lazy about it. They have tried really hard, and now they are going to put in a huge effort in the next week. In summary, Mercedes is dealing with big challenges with their W15 car, especially with its performance and stability. Even with these problems, team principal Wolff is positive about their chances of fixing them and making their team more competitive. He stresses how important it is to make sure the car's aerodynamics and mechanical parts work well together to reach its full potential. With renewed focus and determination, Mercedes wants to come back stronger in the next races and catch up to their competitors in terms of performance. So do you think Mercedes will grab the crown anytime soon? Do share your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Until next time, see you all.